So, Bob, what was your first guitar and what's your current axe?
My first guitar was a $30 department store special. The strings were up so high above the fretboard, I guess it was about a half inch or three-quarters of an inch above it. But that's what I learned how to play guitar. I now have a Guild F45 CE. It's a cutaway, very pretty guitar. It's got a very nice acoustic sound. It's the same guitar that Pat Metheny uses in his playing. Of course, I don't play the guitar as well as he does, but this guitar is really sort of special because it's got a maple back, it's got a violin back, and it's got an oval hole which sort of allows a lot of the mid-range and bass sounds to come out of the body of the guitar that other guitars don't have. I also installed on it one of those LR bags combination sound systems which has a mic and a pickup as well, and that makes the guitar sound just as pretty amplified as it does without the amplifier itself. I also have a tenor banjo which I plunk around with, and a Martin backpacker guitar which I take along on campouts. It's funny that the instrument sometimes guides you into writing songs of a certain type. For instance, I wrote my song Mama's Arms on my backpacker guitar out on a camping trip. It had this plunky feel to it, and it made the song more plunky, and I always imagined the banjo fitting in right alongside of that with more of that folk feel to it.
You're making an appearance on my show as a direct use of the home studio. Can you talk a little bit about your setup and the digital revolution?
My home studio is relatively simple nowadays. I still believe that you should really record your music in a professional studio with professional musicians there, with a professional recording engineer, with a producer. I think the quality of the material is really top notch when you do that. But for my home studio, I just have Audacity for some software to record some simple things. I have a nice Shure mic, Beta 87C or whatever the heck it's called. Yeah, I think that's it. Got a very nice wide bandwidth, so vocals come out really sweet on that. And of course I feed that in through a Mackie mixer, an 8-channel one, and I feed that into my Macintosh computer, and basically that's my setup right now. I'm still considering putting on doors and trying to isolate my studio away from the rest of the house a little bit, and I'll see how that goes, but that's my next project. All told, a studio doesn't really have to cost that much, especially for demos in the home. My setup hardly costs anything. I mean, Audacity is free. The computer itself, I think, you're going to spend anywhere from $500 to $1,500 for a good computer. There's a lot of benefits today that we have with this digital revolution. We don't need reel-to-reel recording being done anymore. I mean, each of those tapes, I still have some of the tapes. Nowadays, you don't have to spend that much. Computer hard drives are cheap. You can record on them and erase and edit and do everything that you really want to do in a home studio. So don't spend a lot of money for demos that you're recording at home, unless you really want to. I mean, if you want to, I mean, you can go out there and spend $25,000 for a system. And if that's what you want to invest in, by all means go ahead, but that's not the route that I chose.
Now, Bob is very well known for his collaborative efforts. I personally know of his work with Freddie Potts, Morris P. Rainbow, Chairs, and Too Wald himself, Clay Pierce. And is there any truth to the rumor that there's a spud track in the can?
I have been extremely lucky in doing some collaborative work, primarily through contacts on the internet. My first song, Mama's Arms, was recorded by Tor Haugen and the Chairs, and then very shortly afterwards by Morris P. Rainville from Canada. And both versions, I was flabbergasted. I'm amazed at the quality of those two artists and how much of their soul they had put into my song. I was amazed by that. There were many other collaborative efforts that happened afterwards. One that comes to mind is working with Freddie Potts out of Louisiana. Freddie had this idea for a song called Moonshine. I sort of helped him out with the words and stuff. Then Clay Pierce had some marvelous ideas about a real touching song about his son. That touched me, but sometimes I'll help out and just see where that song goes. The song is what matters to me, and of course the people that help put the thing together, when they spend that much time and energy on a project, that's a very special and rare thing that happens. One song in particular that has really benefited by the collaborative effort is After She Is Gone, Mary's song. It's a song about a bag lady, and I sent it out to Morris Rainville a little over a year ago, I guess, and he recorded it, and it came back, and we worked back and forth on getting the sound just right, and we posted it on SoundClick. Since then, we've accumulated like something like 32,000 plays for just that one song, like almost 1,000 downloads of the tune, and I think that kind of success sort of shows from a teaming up of where two minds are better than one, definitely. I hope to continue doing this. There are a number of people that I would love to be able to collaborate with. Mississippi Spud is one of them. His telly, I definitely want that in the song, and we've already discussed a couple of ideas on a song about half a year ago, but I plan to get back into that and seeing if we can finish that one up. I think that one had a lot of potential. I wholeheartedly recommend collaborative efforts to many of the artists out there and songwriters out there. I've learned so much from the people that I've worked with, and I've had such a blast doing it. Every single collaboration that I've ever done, I've really benefited by it, and I just want to say thanks to all the great people out there that took the time and their energy to work with me.
What do you think about the wonderful wide web?
The internet for the musician and the artist and the songwriter is a wonderful thing. It's a microphone that is set to talk to the whole world. I've been able to get folks to listen to my songs from Australia to Europe, Asia, Africa, places that I would never be performing in directly. I can't say how wonderful of a medium it is. It sure beats radio as far as I'm concerned, and I think it's definitely the wave of the future. I think it's only a matter of time before the internet, though, catches up on being able to protect the rights of songwriters and artists and keeping their material from being stolen and just used all over the place. They'll figure that out soon enough, and within the next couple of years, I think even that will be much better. I have heard more songs that were unique and distinctly creative, something that hadn't been, how should I say it, homogenized or blenderized by the music industry. The artist and the songwriter are able to put out songs that come straight out of their heads and go straight onto a recording, onto an MP3 recording, which is presented directly to the audience. I don't think you can ask for anything better than that. The other benefit about the internet is that artists can talk to other artists and see what problems they have found from the experiences that they have had. And songwriters can learn how to write better from other songwriters. It's one great mosh pit for folks that have the same interests and maybe have the same problems and issues, and they're able to work on them and try to solve them in a grander effort, which is more cooperative across nations, across cultures, across all sorts of things.
What are the important things in life besides music?
Outside of my musical interests, I guess the focus is really my family. My wife, my kids, my new grandchild, who was born just 2 minutes before midnight, before New Year's Day. My son, he's getting married in June. Life is just so full of everyday things that I really have very little time left over between my day job, my family, and my music. And I think I've got a full platter right there. For rest and relaxation, I like to go out to my camp, but that I really enjoy more in spring, summer, and fall. In the wintertime, I prefer sitting over by a nice hot fire and playing my guitar and maybe watching a movie or two.
Who are your musical heroes, particularly those artists who influenced your own songwriting?
There's a lot of people that I was influenced by in music. One is like Conway Twitty, who's saying that's my job. I learned a lot about what people can say inside of a song and how meaningful it can be to the listener. I know that was meaningful to me, particularly because my dad had recently passed away. There were many other people that had influenced what I have been doing in the past, like 10 years or so. Kenny Rogers, Garth Brooks, Alan Jackson, Clint Black. The list goes on, and I think I wrote it down one time, and I think I surpassed about 200 or 300 names of people that had really influenced me in what I do. There was somebody that made a statement one time and had a quote that says something that we can see so far because we stand on the shoulders of giants. And I think that's been my guiding principle when it comes to creating new music. And what I've done is I have tried to learn from people that have come before me, and not only the big name artists. I learned a lot from the indies that are on the internet, and I think someday they're going to have big names and be very influential on the music scene itself. I'm grateful for being at the right place at the right time in gaining from the experiences of the people from the past and learning from the people that are there right now. And I hope to leave a little bit of something that somebody else can build on something in the future with.